Good morning. This is Shirley from Shirley's World. And this is starting out to be kind of a hectic morning. Because I want to get something in the crock pot before I even eat breakfast. I did feed the dogs. Hi, Wolf's Woodsite. Woodsite? Hi, thanks for joining. I'm going to, I wanted to get this pork tenderloin that I got in the crock pot early. It's peppercorn garlic flavored already, so I want to do that first. What I did was cut up some potatoes in big chunks. I'm going to cut up an onion in big chunks just to have the tenderloin lifted up off the bottom of the crock pot. Is mostly the reason. I don't particularly like to put potatoes in with the crock pot stuff because everything ends up tasting the same then. I don't know if you have that trouble or not. Hi, Brad. If I can get this thing out of the wrapper. It's this is for, of course, for supper, but I don't know how long it'll cook. I like to be safe. This is, of course, pork. So I'm just going to put this tenderloin that's already been marinated in this garlic, peppercorn garlic. This is the flavor of this one. So I want to do that quick so I can have my breakfast. The dogs have already eaten. Hi, XLPE. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's just letters. Add a little bit of beef broth or fluid. And that's about it. Thank you. My kitchen, I live in a house that was built in 1850, but my kitchen, of course, has been redone about 4 years ago. The whole kitchen was gutted down to the historic big beams and interesting things under the walls, and it was redone. So this ceiling, which everybody comments on, is a tin ceiling. It's not an old one, but it is real tin. It's not plastic. So I have to take this over to where my crock pot is plugged in. Sure it's plugged in. I've done that before. Had the crock pot. I thought the crock pot was gone, and I find out that I had never plugged it in. Oh, that's not good. So, alright, that's done. I was going to make myself eggs and bacon and everything this morning, but I think I'll just have some oatmeal and some fruit. And of course, my coffee. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Just have some quick oatmeal in my bowl. And where's everybody from today? See, I just have some quick oats. It's a fast breakfast. I do a heaping quarter cup of quick oats in this bowl and half a cup of water and stick it in the microwave. I make it for a minute, stir it, and then put it in for another 30 minutes. That way it doesn't boil over. Put a little salt in here. Because there's nothing worse than boiled over oatmeal. It's so slimy. I'm going to start my coffee. And let's see what else. Sorry, I keep reaching over you. I usually put my crock pot on high for about 10 minutes, so I can't forget that. And then I turn it down to low because I like things in the crock pot cooked on low. I think it's much more tender than cooking it half the time on high. So you have to stir my oatmeal. Another 30 minutes. 30 seconds. No, 30 minutes. And 30 seconds. It's morning. My sister's here visiting, but she's still upstairs sleeping. She's going to sleep in this morning because she stays up till all hours of the night reading. So, she's upstairs. Let me see if I had already put my sugar in that cup. That wasn't good. And I'm supposed to wake her up at 10 o'clock. It's 9:30 now. I'm getting a really late start this morning. I had a lot to do outside before I even fed the dogs. The dogs have been fed, the cats have been fed, and now it's my turn. I put the stuff in the crock pot. I'm going to turn it down in a minute. Put some fruit in a little bowl. And I flavor my oatmeal with brown sugar and a little butter. My Rode microphone came yesterday. I was really happy about that. I don't have it on right now. Do you ever sear your meat before you put it in the crock? Some things I do, but this pork loin I don't. It was all marinated, and you know, if I sear it, I'm going to knock off most of the marinating stuff. So a lot of the meat, yes, I do sear it first. I think it sort of keeps in the juices, in the good flavors. Some brown sugar. I love my sugar, especially brown. I'm sort of a carboholic. I'm addicted to sweets, which isn't good. Alright, this needs milk. And I have to get the cream out. Sorry, I keep walking away from the camera, but so that's ready. Cut up some fruit. You know, my bananas are getting ripe, and right away the fruit flies come. That's a question. What, you get fruit and it becomes ripe. Follow my dog's scope. Okay, I will look in it. You take him cool places. Okay, I will for sure look. I love dogs. I foster and adopt English pointers. I have two right now, a male and a female. And this t-shirt is from their transport team. I've done that a couple times. I don't do it as much as I'd like. But if they need a transport that's near me, I'll try to help out. I don't like to drive by myself. If I had somebody to go with me, I'd do it a lot more. What else? What other fruit do I have here? I have your Otto's a Shepherd Mastiff. Oh, I had a Saint Bernard a little while ago that I had adopted. He was very old. These people that had had him since he was a puppy turned him in to a rescue. They didn't say why. They just brought him in and said that their daughter was allergic. Of course, is always the big story. And the rescue found out later that they went out and got another dog, young dog, right away. This dog, St. Bernard, was 8 already when I got him. And he lived till he was 11. He was, I know, it's horrible, sad, because, you know, St. Bernards become so attached to their families. He was in mourning. He wouldn't eat or anything for weeks. I had to cook for him. I cooked boiled chicken and potatoes and sweet potatoes, and I cooked for him to eat, because he was actually, I think, in mourning. And I just don't understand people that do that at all. But he was a wonderful soul. He's such a wonderful breed, they are. So I did foster St. Bernard, but what I learned from fostering that large of a dog, now I had always had labs before these pointers. I had always had labs. I love labs, and they're pretty big. I mean, they can weigh in pretty big. But this St. Bernard weighed 164 pounds. And what I did learn is, right now I'm 73, but, you know, I was old enough then, in my late 60s, I probably shouldn't adopt a dog that weighs more than me, because if they go down or something happens to them, to get them to the vet, you're really stuck. Luckily, my vet is the one that takes care of my horses too, and she's 2 minutes up the road. So she would, if Monk would get sick, Monk was his name, if he would get sick or I needed them to come and look at him, they would make like a barn call, like they do for my horses, and come right to the house. So I was really lucky that way. But his rear quarters gave out, his back end gave out, and he couldn't walk anymore. And he was in a lot of pain. So unfortunately, I only had him for 3.5 years. But my pointers are such friendly, wonderful dogs. I will look in on your site, because I like to go to the dog sites. Is it a Periscope site, I assume? Your Periscope Twitter site? I'll look in. I have a blog spot, a blog. I run a blog. Okay, I'll look in. I run a blog called Shirley's World, that I have a lot of things about my dogs and my horses and all my animals and my chickens. I scope a lot about my chickens, because that was the one thing nobody else is scoping about. Well, Rev Beige is. He scopes his chickens every day. But I'm trying to scope about the care of chickens and what to do before you get your chicks, you know, things like that. So I sort of try to do at least one chicken scope a day. But I talked last night. He's at PetSmart buying Halloween with him. Yeah. My dogs, I finally had to get a girl that walks my dogs. My dogs do not walk well on a leash. They pull me too much, and I'm 73 now. I don't want to go down on my face, so I do have a gentle leader for them, which cuts down the pulling a lot, but they still pull. And I live in the country, so we have to walk along the road. There's no sidewalks, so it's just safer. I have an invisible fence around my property. I have it 1 square acre. You need to try. Yeah, I do have a gentle leader. Yeah. And yeah, I couldn't have them at all on the leash without that. Yeah, your boy has a gentle leader. My labs were good walkers, but these pointers, they like to run, so I have a gentle leader, and I really tried, but they still pull me too much, so. But they have an acre to run around on. I have an invisible fence, so they can run free out on my little homestead I have here. And so let me introduce you to my dogs. Should I take this off? Okay, this is Dexter. Dexter, I've had him a year and a half. Yeah, my babies. He was found as a stray down near Alliance, Ohio. I live in Medina, Ohio, up south of Cleveland. And the rescue called me because I was the only foster in the area, so I went down and got him. He was skinny, 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 and of course he's put on the weight he needs. He had never been in a house. He must have been raised as a hunting dog. He wasn't neutered, and the first time I brought him in the house, well, he wasn't housebroken or anything. I had to crate train him again, just like a puppy. But the first time I turned on the TV, which is, a nice large television, the first time I turned it on, he just backed up way into the kitchen. He had never seen a television before, I could tell. So my little girl is still outside. Let me see if I can find her. Her name is Spirit, and I just got her not a year ago yet, the beginning of last winter. So it's going to be a year pretty soon. And she was a sad case. Spirit! Spirit! Here she comes. Yeah, yes he did. He went and got her. You've been eating the cat food, haven't you? I have 2 barn cats, and they try their best. I raise the food up for the cats so they can't get them, but she is determined. Because she was a starved dog, this dog was dropped off, dropped off someplace in the woods in Oklahoma. When the ASPCA found her, she was nothing but skin and bone. I mean, she was close to starving to death. And she had big mammary tumors. They could tell that she had been used for breeding. And then they just threw her out. And she was lucky she made it. They called the Pointer Rescue, and they have to go in and check on my things. They called the Pointer Rescue, and they said, yes, do the surgery for mammary tumors, and they took them into the rescue, and then the closest foster at that